My mother-in-law's hatred for my being gay nearly killed me, and my husband in our own home. It happened one night while we were fast asleep, unaware of the fire raging through the house. Our dog barked and woke us up just in time. If not, who knows what would have become of us. As a firefighter myself, I knew how quickly things could get out of hand. The flames were spreading so fast that we had to jump from our window to escape. No gear, no equipment, nothing but the clothes on our backs. The smoke was a suffocating darkness, it's just blackness. Not like in the movies where you see flashes of light. It turned out my mother-in-law had set the fire herself. She'd been furious with her son for choosing me over her, and made no secret of it. When caught, she couldn't have expected a lighter sentence. Now she's looking at life imprisonment. The irony wasn't lost on us. She thought I could just magically put out the flames with my bare hands, as if being a hero meant having superpowers. My dad's prescription bottle sat on the kitchen counter for what felt like an eternity. My mom had left it unattended, and my sister and I exchanged a knowing glance. We'd grown tired of our father's sudden mood swings after he stopped taking his medication. He went from calm to violent in an instant, and we were trapped in this hellish cycle. We took matters into our own hands, grinding the white pills into powder with a spoon, and adding it to his orange juice each morning. The results were instantaneous. Dad was tranquil, even happy, for a whole month. But when the prescription ran out, reality set back in. I'm not proud of what we did, but desperation had consumed us, and we clung to that fragile piece as long as we could.
My Janimom, artsy, has been controlling every aspect of my life for years, dictating what I wear, who I see, and even when I eat. But today's the day I finally break free. I left our house before 8 a.m., pretending to go to work, but in reality, I'm fleeing a toxic nightmare. As I waited at Starbucks, my heart racing with anxiety, I couldn't shake off the feeling of liberation and fear. The police were supposed to arrive at noon, but they were delayed. Luckily, friends and movers stepped in, keeping Artsy at bay as we packed up what little was left. Artsy showed up uninvited at the bank to close my account and vacate our safety deposit box, spinning a web of conspiracy theories. But I stood firm, unfazed by her harassment. As we finalized the process, she realized I wasn't going to engage with her drama. Today, I finally took back control of my life.
My husband came home with another woman's baby just 4 months after I forgave him for his affair. We'd been trying to put our past behind us, but now I'm stuck caring for this child full-time while my husband recovers from a heart attack. But that's when it hit me. This was not my problem anymore. My kids are grown and I don't need to be raising another generation. I contacted the baby's mother, Roger's girlfriend, and told her parents they had until Friday to come get the child or I'd call Child Protective Services. They showed up just in time, but not before giving me a lecture on being cold towards their grandchild. Now the house is empty, and my husband's still recovering. But when I look at that baby, I don't see innocence. I see a reminder of all he threw away.
My husband, a cop, planted a tracking device on my car, so I could be monitored 24/7. He's physically abusive, and I've called the police before, but they did nothing even when I had 2 black eyes. I was trapped, no family, no friends, just him. But then something changed. Maybe it was the fear of being caught. Maybe it was the shame of living in terror, but I found a new spark within myself. One night, while my husband was on shift, I made my move. I grabbed a small bag and slipped out into the darkness, leaving behind everything: phone, laptop, car, just me and a handful of cash. I ran to a McDonald's, then hailed an Uber to a women's shelter. They helped me close down all my online accounts, get a new lawyer, and even secured a restraining order until our divorce hearing. For the first time in years, I'm not living in constant fear.
I still remember the look on her face when she handed me an envelope at our birthday dinner. 200 guests around us. My husband's mom had given me a gift certificate for $500 to get my tattoos removed, citing my impending motherhood as reason. The word stung, but I tried to brush it off. But what really got under my skin was when she refused to take the gift back after my husband called her and told her off. It felt like a personal attack on who I am. 3 years later, that certificate is still sitting in my kitchen junk drawer. But then something unexpected happened. I realized I could turn this into something positive.
My best friend of 12 years, a woman I'd never thought of romantically until one fateful day, asked if I'd be her sperm donor through a surrogate. But what she didn't know was that my feelings for her went far beyond just being an ideal co-parent. As we met up for brunch, the tension between us was palpable. She sensed something was off and got worried, thinking maybe I was backing out or had changed my mind. Then I spilled it all. How I'd been in love with her for years but didn't dare speak up, fearing it would ruin our friendship. Her face turned white, then crumpled into tears as she confessed that she loved me too, but thought it would jeopardize what we had. The weight of her words crushed me, and for a moment, I thought our friendship was over. But instead of shattering, it shattered apart to reveal something more profound: our love.
I walked into my daughter's nursery one day after the gym, expecting peaceful silence, but what I saw shattered everything. My wife, naked, with our best friend, also a woman, hiding behind the door next to hers. It was like watching a nightmare unfold in slow motion. Months of denials unraveled in that instant. Just friends, and nothing's going on. All lies. They'd been carrying on a lesbian affair for months, using our home as their secret hideaway. I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. The days following were a blur of emotions: shock, anger, sadness. But looking back, I realized our marriage was built on illusion. We'd created a perfect facade together, but beneath the surface, she was living a lie. Getting away from her will be liberation, and I'll find someone who truly loves me for who I am.
My fiancé asked his father to check my hymen tomorrow night, in front of him, his brothers, and uncle. It was a demand, not a request. He'd been saving himself for marriage, like me, but this twisted ritual was non-negotiable for his family. I thought I knew him. Our love was real. We were perfect together. But now I'm not so sure. He cried when I refused, told me it would prove my love for him, and that I had nothing to hide. Being a virgin wasn't even the issue here. His family's obsession with this outdated tradition makes me question everything. Should I call off the wedding? Can I really marry someone who'd ask their father to verify his bride's virginity like a purity test?
I'm torn, panicking.
My friends are waiting for me back home, but I don't know if I'll be going back to that life tomorrow.
My wife left me with a face full of punches from her lover in a bar, and I've spent 7 long months nursing my rage and betrayal. Yesterday was the day I finally took action, or rather revenge. I packed up most of our office equipment, leaving nothing but essentials behind, and then hacked my wedding ring into 2 pieces. I placed it on top of the divorce papers and evidence of her infidelity, a petty satisfaction. Telling my kids was brutal, but they were also strangely relieved. I warned them to be cautious around their mother's lover, given his history. Now, as I settle into a new place, I'm finally feeling calm wash over me. Exhaustion and relief mixed together. My ex-wife is frantically trying to reach me, sending "I'm sorry S" and "please call S," but I'm ignoring her for now. This chapter is closed and I'm ready to move on.
I was pulled over by a cop on a routine traffic stop, and in desperation to avoid getting arrested for driving with a suspended license, I lied to the 911 operator, telling her there was a guy with a shotgun walking into a nearby convenience store. As I handed the papers to the officer, he started to walk back to his cruiser, but then suddenly sprinted towards the store. When he returned, furious but relieved, he barked at me to come to a complete stop next time, before peeling off toward the convenience store. I breathed a sigh of relief as I filled up my gas tank, feeling both ashamed and exhilarated by my quick thinking. But little did I know, this was just the tip of the iceberg. I had been driving on a suspended license for unpaid traffic tickets, and a bench warrant was waiting for me at home. I'll never forget the day my ex-wife showed me her new tattoo, 2 Chinese symbols on her forearm, but what really caught my eye were the English letters hidden beneath. JW. We'd been married for 3 years, together 5, and she'd always push me to get matching tattoos with her. Recently, a coworker who had several tattoos started hanging out with her, telling her I wasn't a real man for being scared to get inked. When she flaunted the tattoo, I lost it. She claimed it was a gesture of friendship, but I saw the disrespect. Having another man's initials on her body was a slap in my face. Then she dropped the bombshell. JW wasn't just a friend, he was more. At least he's a man, she sneered at me. Our divorce had been amicable, but this revelation left me seething. I got a tattoo of our finalized divorce date, and when she saw it, she broke down in tears, exactly what I wanted.
I'll never forget the night my boyfriend, Mark, told me to unlove the men from my past before he could love me. It was a chilling ultimatum that sent a chill down my spine. At first, I tried to brush it off as an awkward moment, but deep down I knew something was wrong. Mark's controlling behavior escalated into chaos when I confronted him about his demands. The room erupted into violence as he screamed at me, threw dishes and kitchen items, and even physically assaulted me. A nasty black eye and busted lip were just the beginning. I had to be taken to the hospital. Luckily, a neighbor intervened, calling the cops and saving me from further harm. Mark was arrested, and I filed for a restraining order. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It marked the end of our toxic relationship and the start of my healing journey. I caught myself staring at my gym buddies, but more times than I care to admit, and it wasn't because he was wearing a new pair of shorts. It was because I couldn't help but notice how gorgeous he is, and the nervous energy that came with being around him only made things worse. We'd become close friends over months, bonding over our shared love of working out, and I realized my feelings for him went far beyond friendship. One day, after a particularly intense workout session, I found myself wanting to ask him out on a date more than ever. I took a deep breath and decided to be honest with him, not just with myself. As we walked out together from the gym, I mustered up the courage to tell him how I really felt. The look on his face still gives me butterflies. He looked flustered, but also relieved that I'd finally confessed my feelings. And then he said something that made my heart skip a beat. "I kinda thought you were into me too." My husband's betrayal killed me before the cancer did, and now that I'm facing the end, he still can't stop hurting me. He cheated on me while I was going through cancer treatment when I was at my most vulnerable. I thought we could work through it, but he couldn't resist infidelity again. My doctors say the treatments that were working before are now just delaying the inevitable, more aggressive cancer cells spreading to my lungs. 2 weeks ago, they told me further treatment is just prolonging the agony, not saving me. I've stopped treatment and am preparing for the end of my life. I'm convinced his infidelity weakened my will to live, giving the cancer an opening it wouldn't have had otherwise. Maybe I'll never know for sure, but I do know that his heartlessness has left me with a terminal prognosis. My 13-year-old son's careless comment at the door made a Chinese delivery driver's face fall, and now I'm being attacked by my own husband for forcing our son to apologize in person. We'd ordered food from a local restaurant, but when the driver arrived, our son yelled out a racist remark that I overheard as I was taking the food. I immediately apologized to the driver, then made sure my son faced consequences. 2 papers on Chinese culture and racism, plus reading his apology aloud at the restaurant. The delivery man was visibly moved by our son's sincerity, sharing some of his own experiences with racism as a driver. But my husband still thinks I overreacted, that it was just a joke. I know better. In our house, we don't tolerate hate speech or racism.
My girlfriend's father told me he wasn't thrilled about us having kids because our babies would be dark. A painful reminder that our family's differences weren't just cultural, but also a source of shame. I shared his words with Naomi, who was taken aback but quickly reassured me she didn't care what color their kids were as long as I was the father. We showed up unannounced at her parents' house and were met with an unexpected question. Had we proposed? Naomi hugged me tightly, relieved that our secret was out. Her dad explained that he wasn't racist, but wanted to protect us from his family's judgment. He cares about us and our future together. Naomi's eyes welled up with tears. She'd been worried I'd be judged for being black. Now we both knew her parents would love our dark babies, just as much as their Korean heritage. But there's a catch. Now Naomi expects me to propose and fast. The pressure is on. I'm still shaking as I think back on that terrifying moment when my girlfriend pointed an unloaded AR-15 straight into my face. We were at a friend's house, and he was showing off his new guns in the bedroom closet. He handed her the rifle without checking if it was clear, and she didn't even bother to check herself before pointing it directly at me. I slapped the barrel down and shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" My girlfriend snatched the gun back from me and stormed out of the room. I'm still trying to process why she reacted that way. Was it because I chastised her for ignoring basic gun safety? Or did she just not care about putting my life at risk? Looking back, maybe I should have handled it differently, but I was terrified and I spoke from instinct. Now I'm left wondering, would it have been better to bite my tongue and save our relationship?
My wife's brother showed up at our house for the 5th time this year, sprawled out on our couch like he owned the place. This time, it was the final straw. I packed my bags and left, telling Kelly in front of him that our marriage was over. For 2 years, I'd complained to Kelly about her family's constant invasion of our space. But what really made me snap was the 15-year affair between her father and his mistress. He kicked them out of their own house and expected us to take them in as a favor. We did for 3 months until we couldn't take it anymore. That's when I knew it was over. Kelly still didn't listen to me, so I blew up at him in front of her. They left, but the tension lingered. And then today, I walked into our home to find his car parked right across our entrance. He was just lounging on our couch, like he owned the place. I packed my bags and told Kelly that our marriage was done. She cried, but I had no sympathy left for her or her family. They'd broken us, one invasion at a time.
I've been secretly indulging in peanut butter for years, the one food my friends think will kill me. It started as a joke on a date with someone who loved peanut butter, but it snowballed into a full-blown lie when she introduced me to her friend group. Before I knew it, they were warning restaurants about my allergy and checking ingredients for me. My best friend even said he felt bad that I'd never get to try a Reese's. I was trapped in this charade, eating peanut butter in secret at work while nodding solemnly at his comment. Now, my girlfriend wants us to move in together, and she's super cautious about food. She's basically going to be my personal allergist. I'm terrified she'll discover my stash and think I've been lying to her all along.